the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water. 2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How high? No,
Greatest fucking Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
What the fuck?
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches in the What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 236. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis.
I'm your other great co-host, Nestor.
And I am your other co-host from the PNW, G-Money.
It is good to have you here, G-Money. We were a little concerned a few days ago during the draft, which was a long night, but a great time. I feel like we all had a pretty good time, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. That was a good night.
Yeah. Jumped the shark and I took the next day off. So, you know.
Hey, that's fair. That's very fair. June will not be joining us tonight. He is in London. In case you missed our draft where he mentioned it 78 times, he will not be joining us this week. So it is just the four of us. But we will go ahead and cheers to him waking up safe and sound tomorrow morning, because it sounds like he is off to the races over there across the pond. So.
I kind of forgot to pour the shot, but yeah.
Was Nestor sitting this entire time not getting a shot?
Yeah, he was too busy watching his Miami Heat get their ass kicked.
I mean, he could have got a shot like in the middle of the first quarter when the game was over.
Could have got a shot like a week ago.
I mean, he could have driven down to Miami and put on a jersey. He could be playing right now.
That's what I was saying. All right. We've got a lot to get into this week. A lot of pretty heady stuff. So let's just go ahead and kind of jump right into this. So like we mentioned, we had our draft special on Thursday. Watched the whole first round of the draft together. I figured we would each go around and give each one of our favorite teams a grade on how we think our team did in the draft. Yeah, that's something we usually do at the end of every single draft weekend. So we will continue that tradition. So G Money, we'll start with you. How did you think Seattle did? If you can give them a letter grade.
I'm giving them a B, and because I don't give anybody an A. And getting Zabel, who was the second best inside offensive lineman in the draft, and as Malin can tell you, our O-line for the last 15 years, it's really fucking sucked. And then getting Nick Imalawi from South Carolina, who should have been a first-round pick at safety in the second round. Yeah, that's a steal. After that, you kind of look at getting Jalen Miller. That was an interesting pick for them because they don't need a quarterback, but that's when you draft a quarterback, is when you don't need one. So he can sit behind Darnold for a season, because we're only tied to Darnold for 1 year, so we'll see how he does. But yeah, we filled some needs, and we'll see what happens next year.
Malin?
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy with the first 3 picks. YG money. So like it's hard to give someone an A because you give someone an A, you're looking at rounds 1 through 7, you're like, all these people are gonna hit. The fact of the matter is not everybody's gonna hit. If you get 2 out of your first 4 rounds and 1, maybe 2 in 5 through 7, like if you get a couple fifth rounders that hit or something like that, and then we'll come back and we'll give you an A. Like the 2012 draft. Was like that with getting Wilson. Before that, the year before when they got Cam Chancellor, like in the later rounds. But I like Zabel. One of the players I'm really excited about is Nick Imanwari. I think I said his last name right. Imanwari.
Yeah.
Imanwari.
Y-
I think Imanwari. Whatever. But he was who we were thinking Seattle might have a shot at in the first round, and the fact that we were able to trade up into the second round and get him a safety out of South Carolina. Cam Chancellor is his favorite player of all time, and you know what he looks like, Cam Chancellor. Someone said he looks like DK Metcalf, except he hits people instead of wearing a binky in his mouth. Like it just he looks like a freak. The Elijah Arroyo pick, the tight end out of Miami. That was the one pick that I was a little bit like, why do we do that? Because everyone compared him to Noah Fant, and guess what? We have Noah Fant, and we're not that high on Noah Fant. So why do we get somebody that compares to him? The Jalen Milrow, freak athlete. Seattle's never had an athlete at the quarterback position like this. In my opinion, it's very like you know, Lamar Jackson-esque, like athleticism, running the football. I mean, he had 20 rushing touchdowns, I think, last year in Alabama. The problem is, and this is, going to be perplexing because he's a quarterback, is his throwing. He's really got to get better at throwing the ball, being more consistent. He has the abilities, but he just hasn't put it all together. That's why he slid as late as he did. But I like it. In the later rounds, you get yourself a couple more linemen. You get yourself a running back, Damian Martinez. It says he's going to be beast mode 2.0. Love the optimism, my guy. But we were a 7th round pick for a reason, so let's see. But hey, if he does end up being beast mode 2.0, then more power to you. I don't know. I'd give him about a B. I mean, we needed wide receiver, we needed offensive line, we needed a little bit of defensive line, we needed tight end. We addressed all those. We got a backup quarterback. We got rid of Sam Howell because I don't know if you guys remember Sam Howell playing last year for a half, and I don't even know if you can consider that playing football. He was on the field and he was doing bad things, but he wasn't playing the quarterback position. So I mean, you made an attempt to address your needs. Whether or not they pan out, we'll see. But they weren't there. I didn't feel like there was a lot of reach. So I'm overall happy with it. The fact that Mel Kiper gives us an A though makes me concerned.
Yeah, I would also be a little worried there.
Mel Kiper said A, so I'm automatically thinking D. But I'm gonna give him
Nestor, how do you think your Dolphins did?
I give them a B minus. Only reasons that like a B plus is I feel like if we're gonna go for some uh, guys in the O line, I think we could have done slightly better. Maybe even defense. But I like how we are trying to back up Tua now. We're helping him. We got Jonah. I can't pronounce his last name to save my life, but
Savanea.
Chevalier. Okay, yeah, sure. So great addition to that O line because we desperately need it. I think we are getting into the habit of developing a good running game because damn it, I forget the rookie's name, but um, I just know our running game is getting better. So whoever we pick there, they're getting a good eye for that. They're developing well that role. So I'm happy that we picked up a running back. I'm happy we got Quinn Ewers. We got a good, decent backup quarterback. We'll see if Tua goes down. And I like that all our defensive picks. Like, I don't have an objection against any of them. So I think we did pretty good. We addressed some needs, and we also I love when we make picks on that defense because I love bolstering that defense. So I can't be disappointed.
Nice. I'm gonna give my Patriots a probably just a middle of the road B. We the first couple days definitely did what we needed to as far as focusing on offense, which was such a breath of fresh air. It was like, wow, we're drafting offensive players with our first few draft picks. This is a miracle. Yeah, I think Campbell will be a great addition to the offensive line. That's what we need. I know we got the running back out of Ohio State, Henderson, second pick. So Kyle Williams, we got him as a receiver. Like the first 2 days or so was like just all offensive players. So I'm super happy about that. And then we kind of got into a bunch of defensive players with the later rounds that, we'll see if they actually even end up making the team in the end. But felt like the guys that we did get in the earlier rounds should outweigh the kind of whatever picks in the later areas. So yes, very happy for the most part.
Disappointed they didn't get Travis Hunter. Jacksonville
trade up.
jumped up. I think that he would have been there at 4. And that's why Jacksonville jumped up. But again, get yourself Will Campbell out of LSU. I mean, that was definitely a need.
Yes.
But yeah, I kept thinking Travis Hunter was going to go to. I kept thinking he was going to go to the Patriots.
Would have been cool. That would have been an A for sure.
Hey, and you guys got one of the players that I wanted that I wish that we would have drafted instead of a tight end. You guys got him in the 3rd round, but I wanted Jared Wilson at center. He was the highest rated
be nice
in the draft. I wanted him because Jim can tell you we haven't had a really good center since Max Unger. And the fact that like he was like a top center in the draft. You weren't moving someone else into the center position like he actually played that in college, and so I'm happy. Hey, you want to go ahead and give a draft grade for the Cowboys? So I'll give it a D minus, lowercase d.
Oh, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Giving them a B plus. Tyler Booker, we needed an O-line. We needed him. Donovan
It was so damn mad.
Running back, we drafted two running backs. We only need one.
Who did he want? He wanted McMillan, right?
Yeah, well, he wanted Ashante, what's his name, and then McMillan. Gentry, yeah, that's who we really wanted, but we all knew that he wasn't going to last unless the Raiders traded up, and they weren't going to do that. But I mean, it's funny that in the 3rd round they take a cornerback who tore his ACL.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay. I mean, thinking he could have lasted till maybe the 6th or 7th round.
To me, that's a wasted draft pick because if you're drafting in the first 3 rounds, you're expecting them to be impact players.
Yes.
Like they should be. And I know that Seattle, like they drafted a tight end, they expect him to play. They also drafted Jalen Milroe. I get that. Okay, you see a lot of people draft quarterbacks in the 3rd, 4th round. They're going to have some packages for Milroe to run the ball. He's gonna get on the field next year. They're not just gonna keep him on the bench. There will be some packages. But yeah, if you draft somebody in the third round, 76, I mean, that's like the beginning of the third round.
Yeah.
Like you're come on. I don't. Yeah.
Well,
Poor June. That's why he's drunk in London.
let's move on to who we think had the best draft overall. Was there one team that stood out to you more than the rest with their picks? G Money, you can go first.
Yeah, not really when I look at it. I'm like, you go 1 through 7, you look at the draft picks and you're like, okay. I mean, this draft was heavy on O line, D line, not so much running backs that you look at and you go, man, these guys are gonna star in the league. And really even cornerbacks. I mean, you didn't have a lot of those, and definitely not quarterback. I mean, there was not, except for maybe Cam Ward, and we'll see how he does. I don't see a team that just knocked it out of the park. You look at it and you go, man, as Malin says, 1 through 3, you're all starting, and you're going to be, your first round pick's got to be great. The other picks are going to be really good, and then 4 through 7, if these guys aren't starting, they're still on the field producing. And I just didn't see that with really any team.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't necessarily think any one team stood out from the rest either. But go ahead, Malin.
Also, there's a few teams that come to mind. One, I do think that Patriots, like you said, Jalen, I'll just say it again. I think the Patriots did what they needed to do in the first few rounds, drafting offense, helping the offensive line. You're putting weapons around your young quarterback, and the best way to do that to help a young quarterback isn't just with more wide receivers; it's with offensive line and running back. They address that in the first few rounds. I liked that. I like the Raiders draft. To be honest with you, Pete Carroll, he loves him some running back G Money. You got Geno Smith. You get Genty. Who that was the other one that I think June wanted. June wanted Genty real bad, but we all knew that he wasn't going to fall to then. But then you go out and you get Jack Betch. I think he's gonna be like a go-to wide receiver, early on. I think that when you put someone like the Giants, I'm not sure if they reached with Jackson Dart, but you get Abdul Carter, you put him with Thibodeau, you got Russell Wilson, you still got Malik Neighbors. I'm not sure if they drafted a running back. I know they need running back, but Jackson Dart doesn't have to play right away. So those teams just early on, I remember thinking about them in the first round. Are we talking about the ones that we think had the worst draft, by the way?
Sure.
Okay. Saints. What are we doing? Hey, what the hell? There's so many needs on that roster, and you guys are drafting a quarterback in the second round that made 22 starts in 6 years. 22 starts in 6 years. You decided that he, at a Louisville, who also played for several other teams, he was better than Jalen Milroe. He was better than Shedeur Sanders. He was better than, God, I don't know, anyone outside of Jackson Dart and, Cam Ward. Do you just think, like, I don't know, like, does he have blackmail on somebody? 22 starts in 6 years, and you're like, yeah, that's my guy. You know who that reminds me of? Matt Castle. You guys remember Matt
Yeah.
Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he never played a snap in 4 years at USC, and he got drafted in, I think, the second or third round. This guy made 22 starts in 6 years. How do you make Well, I know how you do it. You get injured a lot, so there should be some concerns. But they moved up to get him, didn't they? Or did they just draft him? I thought they moved up to get him. I don't know. Maybe they
I
did.
don't think.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I was just dumbfounded at that pick. If you're going to draft a quarterback, I just feel like there was better options there. So the Saints just terrible. What are we doing? This is why you're the Saints. Back to the Aints.
Nestor.
I would say if I had to pick, um, I would say probably Arizona Cardinals. I just like how they're picking guys for both sides of the ball, like offensive line, defense. And there was a few games, honestly, last season where um, I think they beat the Dolphins. It was just these rough games where somehow they ended up winning games that I felt like they shouldn't have won. But it felt like they were winning it kind of like in the trenches, like they just fought those games and came out on top. And I think that's probably where they are building. Whether it's Kyler Murray who's going to be there for somebody else, I think they're building something good. I also think the Patriots had a really good draft as well. Um, like you said, Jalen, just adding some power to that offensive part of the game. They're building some pretty good things around Drake May, and it's not good for me, but it's definitely great for them. So yeah, if I had to pick the worst draft, oh, and by the way, I'm excited to see, not because of Trevor Lawrence, because I don't think he's that great, but Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. You know, um, that's going to be interesting to watch. Uh, the rest of the team is trash, but that part of the team is going to be exciting to see how those two guys play. But yeah.
Hey, you want to know something funny real quick, Jalen? Is it I just looked up this thing on USA Today where they gave out draft grades. First of all, USA Today, they're very positive. There was only one team that didn't get, or there's only one team that got below a C on USA Today. Everybody was average or better. That one team that was below average was the Browns when you do what they do. But I do think it's funny that they have the Miami Dolphins at 31 with a C minus.
Jesus Christ.
And for the for the Cleveland Browns, it's a question mark and it's I for incomplete. It's like you didn't even turn in your homework. So they didn't even.
Damn.
I love it.
All right. Let's continue moving on here. All right, let's get into the NBA playoffs, which is at a breaking point for some teams tonight, and we're on the verge of a breaking point for other teams. So I figured we would key in on some of the more entertaining series. Yes, Cleveland is packing up Miami tonight. So like that one's done. It looks like, I mean, unfortunately, Dame Lillard did tear his Achilles last night, so I think that's pretty much wraps for the Bucks. I did not include Orlando in here because, I mean, come on, at this point.
We're up 3.
Yes. So we will start off with the Clipper and Nuggets series, which is now tied at 2 games apiece. And I feel like the drama in this one is very high because these are 2 like very evenly matched teams, and it's just an extremely entertaining series. So yeah, I'll open this up to Malin first. I would love to know what you think about this series.
Do you have what you probably don't have it on hand, but do you have what we first predicted?
I can find it.
Because I'm pretty sure I took the Clippers in 6. I think I took the Clippers in 6. I think I did. I'm not sure. The difference in this series is going to be whether or not Murray is as hot or cold as he is switching out his, undershirts and like at halftime or whatnot. Which he's done like twice now in the playoffs. This is my second favorite series so far in the playoffs. Yeah, no, actually, no. This one is my favorite. The Clippers in Denver. They just battle well. They're well matched. You go down the depth chart and you're like, okay, well, I can see they're a little bit better there, but they're a little bit better here. Games are very close throughout. No one's like just beating the brakes off of them like all the time. So there's not like these huge swings. Like I think in the second or third game there was like 18 ties or 18 lead changes and 21 ties or something like that. Like I love series like that. I'm still gonna go with the Clippers to win this. I just think that hey, Kawhi's playing well. Harden's still doing his thing. Russell Westbrook, I don't even think he played game 4, did
Game
he?
4, I don't
I
think
think he's
so.
hurt. Yeah, I think he's hurt. So then you're really going with the Joker and Murray. I still like the Clippers, but I think I took the Clippers in 6, and I'm still going to stick with that if I took them in 6.
All right. Nestor.
Yeah, I agree. I still take the Clippers. I don't think Denver will get through this. Yeah, I just think the Clippers are playing better as a team. I don't think they're gonna do enough uh, to get past the Clippers. So
G Money.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of the 4 games were decided by 3 points or less. The last game was freaking Gordon's crazy ass tip in with no time left, basically. I mean, when you look at the
Mr. Airball.
Nuggets, when you look at the Nuggets, right? And I said this going into the series that freaking the Joker will average a triple double, and that's what he's averaging, a triple double. And yet the series is where it's at.
Yep.
If he were to get injured or not score double points, not get a triple double, I don't think they win. As Malin said, Kawhi's playing really well. Puffy Harden is playing like he did when he was back in Houston the first couple of seasons. Vukovic, their center, is playing really well. And the only knock you have really is Bogdanovich coming off the bench and not being able to hit fucking shit. I mean, I'm thinking they're regretting that goddamn trade. But Denver just doesn't. I mean, you've got the Joker, you've got Murray when he's on, but the problem with that is he's not always on. Westbrook looks like he's sliding back into Westbrook. And you've got a supporting cast that really isn't supporting. So I know I took the Clippers. I don't recall. I think I took them in 5. It's probably not going to be the case, but I still take the Clippers in this series.
It can't be the case if you took them in 5. They've already won 2.
Well, yeah, no. I said I think, but I'm still taking the Clippers. I just, like I said, I think I initially took them in 5, but I'm still going to take the Clippers.
And can I just say that 2 teams that the front office should be charged with gross negligence would be Denver and Milwaukee after you win a title with Giannis and then Joker. And you just stand pat the whole time while the rest of the league gets better.
Right.
Like you think you're that good that you just run it back a couple years.
Well, Milwaukee tried, right? I mean, they traded for Damian Lillard and gave up
but
a lot of players. I mean,
after they won.
Yeah,
It was
and
yeah,
the second year after they won.
yeah, like you need to Giannis and Joker, man. They should be more high profile right now in the NBA than what they are. They should be in the finals more than what they are. These franchises, they're Denver and Milwaukee for a reason. They're lucky they won one with those two. If LA or Boston or like Chicago, even Miami, if Miami had one of those two players, you'd be thinking about a three-peat. The way that
right.
they would work that front office and get talent around them. Milwaukee and Denver, like, no, we got one, we're good.
Yeah, it's weird that like all the role players are like almost exactly the same for both of those teams since they won those two titles. It's like you kind of need to
Yeah.
start switching things up. Like it's not gonna work every single season. You probably need to shop around a bit. Um, as the Clipper Nugget series goes, uh, it's got to be the most entertaining one, like you said, Maitland, where it's like every game comes down to the wire. It's so nice to see Kawhi Leonard playing meaningful basketball again. I think this is like the first series we've seen him in, and I don't know how long, several years. So
Since you left
it's
Toronto?
something like that. I think it was like I think it was the year that the Bucks won the title where he made a deep playoff run there. And then
Oh, they
since then,
didn't. That made a deep. Are you talking the second round? The second round is deep. They haven't been
yes,
to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, they bowed out of the bubble. Like everyone wants to shit on LeBron James for winning the bubble, but they bowed out. They're like, we don't even want to be a part of it. And got their ass kicked in the first round.
yeah. I mean, they made a solid run, and I think they went to like Game 7 against Utah in the second round of the playoffs. But I mean, since then, it's like we haven't really seen him play in the playoffs. And it's a nice reminder to be like, oh yeah, like he is really that good when it's like you take the limitations off, he's actually playing, and it's in a meaningful game. Like he's legit. James Harden, good to
I need
see him.
I need someone to make them laugh in a press conference. Is what I need. I need to hear the laughing. I
It's gonna
apologize.
it's gonna require a trophy. Uh, I I really don't remember who I picked in this one. Um, I'm pretty sure we all picked the Clippers. It's just a matter of in how many games, and I'm still sticking by that. But it's tough, man. It's like each game you just never know which way it's gonna go. But I'm gonna imagine that the Clippers are able to pull this thing out in the end, just because of coaching. Even though Denver's kind of interim coach has been doing all right, I still think Ty Lue is they better coach in the end, and that's gonna show in like probably game 7. So yeah, Nestor.
Yeah. Were you talking about the Clippers still?
I already went to him.
Yeah.
Didn't he already go to you?
Yeah, I went.
My bad. Did we not hear from G Money yet?
No, we did.
No, you heard from me.
Oh, all right.
Heard from everybody.
Okay.
Yep, we're ready. That's just
Moving on.
like I'm repeating.
All right. The other LA team, the Lakers and the T Wolves. Oh, how things have changed.
Oh.
So this was bittersweet for me. Very bittersweet.
Fuck, man.
Okay, so Minnesota currently leading 3-1 after Ant-Man went off yesterday to send this thing to a 3-1, hoping to get the gentleman's sweep in LA, I think tomorrow or no, Wednesday. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Malin, what are you thinking here?
Upset. I'm upset because my dream finals, I said it from the beginning, was LA Boston. I want LA Boston. Gotta admit, seeing Cleveland just, prostate rape the shit out of the Miami Heat the way they did for 4 games. Makes me a little bit nervous if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals because I'm like, I mean, you could have at least given Miami a reach around, but Jimmy Butler wasn't there for that with his drag due on there, so that didn't happen. No, this Lakers Minnesota's putting up more of a fight than I thought they would, and I say more of a fight like. Yeah, they're up 3-1. But when I say more of a fight, I mean like the fourth quarter. They're playing better basketball in the fourth quarter in the Lakers. I will still give LeBron James his flowers. I can't name his stats off the top of my head from game 4, but I know in game 3 he had 38 points and I think 10 or 12 rebounds and 5 assists. Like you're that old and you're putting up 38 and 10 at least in rebounds. That's insane. What's really striking me in this matchup is that I didn't think that Anthony Edwards would get the best of Luka in the series. I thought Luka. I still think that Luka is the better player than Ant-Man, but for some reason, and you can give me the head cold shit aside, Luka has not really shown up as Luka in this series, and that's why they're down 3-1. You need that scoring, you need those points, you need that all around game, and I think that if the Lakers had the Luka of last playoffs against Minnesota, this series would have been over in 5 games. But we don't. I don't really know what's going on. But I want LA to come back. I think it's better for the game of basketball. I think it's better for NBA. I'm sorry, Minnesota, but you're Minnesota. Nobody gives a shit. Like the Lakers left Minnesota for LA for a fucking reason. So just whatever. The playoffs would be better with LeBron James and Luka than whatever Minnesota has. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Minnesota is going to win this series. That's kind of upsetting, but I digress.
I don't necessarily think that the scoring is the problem. Like needing more from Luka, because I mean he's played pretty damn well. I just think it's a size difference. Like the Lakers just don't have any big men to protect the damn basket,
He
and
just gives you a hard on right there with that.
like they're relying on LeBron at the age of 40 to do that a lot of the times, and that's just obviously unfair. Edwards is hard enough to stop. Like once he beats his man off the dribble and he's coming downhill, even if you do have a center, that's a very hard defensive job. But without one, it's like forget about it. Like you're gonna get these kinds of numbers that he's putting up right now, and I'm pretty sure this was like something that we mentioned when Luka trade first happened. Was like, yeah, it's great that they had scoring, but the kind of underlying issue here is what the hell are they gonna do defensively because there's no rim protector there at all. You need that if you're gonna go win a title. You need somebody who can still stand in there and stop people like Ant-Man, people like Giannis, John Morant, like the dudes who just play downhill all the time. So I do think it's over for LA. I think they'll win Wednesday night to force it back to Minnesota, but that's when I think they'll wrap it up because they're gassed. The Lakers, what didn't JJ Redick play all of his starters the entirety of the second half for the first time ever?
Yeah. The crazy thing about when you talk about the rebounding is, I swear to God, I see Minnesota getting more rebounds, like deep, like near the 3-point line, because the ball just bounces around or gets slapped away, and it finds Minnesota because LA doesn't have that big man that can grab a rebound, so they're just playing fucking hot potato with it, just slap happy with the goddamn ball. It goes back to Minnesota so many goddamn times. You're like, how the fuck Does this keep
Yeah.
happening? Yeah, that's annoying.
G Money.
So definitely number one is the fact that they have no bigs. They don't. Number two, and you mentioned this, Jalen, about them playing Luca, AR, and LeBron for the whole second half of the last game. You know why they're doing that? Because they have no scoring coming off the bench.
Yep.
Absolutely no scoring. They can't hit threes. Minnesota knows this. They don't guard them. They're like, go ahead, take a three. You're not going to make it. And we'll get the rebound and we'll run with it. And they attack LA's weaknesses. One of the things you see in the playoffs, and you see this with Boston, and you see this with OKC, they find your weakness and they attack it. They play defense, and every single player can score. And you don't see that with the Lakers. The Lakers are three players, and that's it. And sometimes, sometimes Reeves isn't even that third
Right.
player.
Sometimes two.
If I were the Lakers going into next season, I'd be looking. I mean, I know they can't do anything free agent wise because they just don't. There's no cap space there, but they need to get themselves a couple of bigs in the draft. They really do.
Well,
But,
go ahead and give somebody Dorian Finney-Smith because he gave you 41 minutes and 6 points. So clearly, you don't really need him around for long term.
Well, who are they
should've put
trading for?
Buddy.
They had that trade in
It would have done
for
better.
Charlotte for the big man, and then they nixed it because they said he didn't pass the
Yeah.
physical. I mean, Williams.
Yeah.
They were trading for Williams.
You are
And-
right. They did try to get a big man when they got Luca. Their answer was not just get Luca; it was get Luca and a big man. But then they got nixed. So like there was a plan that LA wasn't able to 100% fulfill. It's just sad because at some point LeBron James has to
Right.
start. At some point he hits the crescendo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it this year? Is it next year? Did you waste a year of LeBron James
Right.
because you couldn't get a big man when you had Luca? That's what's unfortunate with that. Well, I should say fortunate as a Boston fan. Very fortunate. But I digress.
Nestor?
Sleeveless.
Yeah, my favorite part of the game was I was at Rocco's Tacos, not for the tacos, and not for the beer either because it's terrible. And I enjoyed watching the bandwagon Lakers fans. You could tell. Me and Jalen have had this conversation before, but you can tell when it's a bandwagon Lakers fan. It's like just watching the disappointment. It felt good. I'm not gonna lie. It felt really good. Now, but I did feel bad for LeBron and Luca. That was the bad part, but it was bittersweet. But I think they're done. They're dusted. I would not be surprised if Minnesota sends us back in the next game.
They just might because them boys are tired. Like, oh man. All right.
Yeah. Hey, you want to know another interesting stat about LeBron James that they said last night? He's never missed a playoff game.
Wow.
And if you put his playoff with his regular season, he's played the equivalent of 25 NBA seasons.
That's crazy.
And he just put up 2 double-doubles back to back.
Man.
I don't know. He might not be Jordan. He might not be the GOAT. But people need to stop with comparing him to Kobe and people. Like, just stop. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Agreed.
All right. Let's go.
Last series to mention here, Golden State and Houston. This is the game.
They're playing right now.
Yeah, game 4 that's on right now. Currently, Warriors are leading this 2-1. G Money, what do you think about this one?
I like this series. You see a lot of defense. it's interesting because I initially felt that Golden State would win this because Houston's a young team for the most part. They've not been there. They were a surprise to be the number 2 seed in the West and to be in the playoffs. I mean, I think at the beginning of the season, if you'd asked all of us, do you think Houston's going to make the playoffs? And if they are they going to be a play-in team? We probably might have split on if they're going to make the playoffs or not. And if they were definitely going to be a play-in team. And they've got it by playing really tough defense. They got some scorers, but man, he did not make that shot. Son of a bitch! I know that didn't count, but goddamn, and Steph puts up a shot like 10 feet inside the half court mark and makes it. I'm like, what the hell? See, that's why Golden State's going to win, because Steph Curry puts up shots from. I think he put up a shot last game from like the men's room and made it. It's like, I mean, after I said that one game where he was like 1 for 10 from threes and couldn't freaking piss on his own feet, he's hitting everything. So, and it's interesting, right? Because the fact that Butler's injured, and you really expected Golden State with Jimmy Butler and with Steph to be able to kind of trade off, so Steph wasn't having to be the guy all the time. But he's got to be the guy. He's got to be the guy, and he's like, shit, not like I haven't been here before. And I think their experience, especially if Butler starts scoring again, comes back and starts scoring. And they're getting, I swear to God, the one kid they got out there, someone help me out with his name. Is it Podzinski? Podolsky? I mean, he looks like the illegitimate child of Steph Curry and Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Well, he looks more like Carrot Man to me, like an athletic Carrot Man. Encino Man. Who the hell? Oh, Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore. Oh, yeah. I just think that but yeah, I mean, I just look at it and I'm like, right now, I think Golden State has the experience. It's not like they haven't been there before. It's like, yeah, we've been here, we've played, I know what I got to do. And it's almost like with Steph, he's like, I'll fucking put the ball up anywhere and I'll make those shots.
Nestor.
But I do like this series.
Go ahead, Nestor. All right, I got you.
I think he's frozen.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's fucking pulled or he's frozen. So anything. First of all, let's talk about the fact that Jimmy Butler didn't play. And yet I think Houston was only up by 1 or 2 at halftime, and you got beat like 30-something to 22 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You just and Steph got 36 points, and he was garbage in the first quarter and half of the second quarter before he started going again. You let him get 36. Jeff Green. Let's talk about it for a second, Green. You did a press conference where people were talking about the other Green was talking shit, and you said, "Oh, well, that's all he can do now is talk trash because he can't do anything else." Maybe you should have looked at the stat sheet, my guy. Because you scored 9 points, and he scored 7. You were 4 of 11 shooting, and he was 3 of 11 shooting, and he got in your head. You let Draymond Green. You put up Draymond Green's stats, and then said that's all he can do is talk shit now. You didn't even talk shit. Like you just played a shit game. Like, how do you go from being as good as he was the first few games or the first couple games to 9 points? I mean, Houston didn't have a single player over 20 points
Hmm.
in that game. It's not like Golden State's great defensively.
Yeah.
They just got old as shit shooting. I mean, right now Golden State's up 7. I see Golden State winning. Butler's back. Nestor wishes he still had Butler. But Butler's back. He probably would have had more rebounds than Tyler Hero in the last game. Entirely won. But yeah, it's a good series. But I think that Houston is playing the way that Orlando's playing right now, Jalen, where you're playing a little bit dirty. You're trying they're playing we're gonna be low key dirty. I think Orlando was less low key about it in the last game where they started throwing people around. But I think the Rockets and Orlando, they're both like low key being dirty. Like, oh, I'm sorry, did I hurt you? Like, no, bitch, you meant to do that. But I think Golden State's going to beat them.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Once Jimmy Butler went down and the Warriors didn't seem to miss much of a beat after that, I was like, oh,
game
like
2.
this is over for the Rockets. The Rockets are a good defensive team, but they just don't have enough offensively to keep up. I think in the regular season when teams aren't locking down on defense, you can get away with a lot more of athleticism and just running up and down the court to get a lot of your points. But once these teams set in and slow the game down, Jalen Green's offense has really slowed down big time. And listen, I have seen more commercials of him chomping down on fucking boneless wings than I've seen him do anything productive in this series. So sick of seeing those ads. I'd rather see him actually do something, not just drawing with Draymond Green, who was telling him to go paint his nails. I think the Warriors are
Why you score 2 more points than him?
right.
You score 10 points in the game, man.
The Warriors, like
Go
they
paint
look
your
like a
nails,
team.
bitch.
They look like a team that has been here before. They know what they're doing, and although the Rockets are, like you said, like the Magic, who are trying to like sort of get in their head and kind of rough them up a bit, this is a championship caliber team. They're bigger than all of that. So, hey, Houston, it's been real, but I don't see them winning another game, to be honest. Nestor.
The Warriors are exactly the team that all the bandwagon Lakers fans go to when the Lakers are not doing well. I utterly hope the worst for them. I hope they're like for 20 more years, like the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NBA. But that's not happening right now. They're gonna beat the Rockets. They don't have the experience. You can't count on Jalen Green and the other guys there. They're so young. Yeah, with Curry dropping threes from that distance, you know, it's
What
difficult to see them.
Warriors do to you, man? Jesus Christ.
They took his favorite player.
Well, they got Jimmy Butler for one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's start there.
all I know is that they beat Boston in the actual NBA Finals, and Jalen and I are still giving them flowers. Nester's
Only
kind
good
of
thing
like
you have
with
done in the
Oklahoma
past
City.
20 years.
He wants a plane. He wants a plane to go down. Is what he wants to have happen.
Not even Alicia Curry's a fan of the damn Golden State Warriors.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Damn.
All right. That will do it for our playoff check-in there. So, okay, we're going to go to a break for about 10 minutes. When we do come back, we are going to get into some community comments all about Shedeur Sanders and his draft slide. You guys have plenty to say about that. So,
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while.
and then we're gonna hit ride or die in 5. So we've got 5 playoff games to pick. that are almost all tomorrow night as we get into the nitty gritty of all these series. So sit tight, and we will be back in about 10 minutes.
So some people decided to get some hate on my take. CeeDee Lamb, not a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Your boy currently 32nd in the league in receptions, number 10 in yards, 35th in touchdown. That doesn't sound elite. There's 32 teams in the NFL, and this man is below 32 in 2 out of 3 major categories. So go ahead, Cowboys fans. Blame Dak, blame McCarthy, but your boy CeeDee Lamb is not even a top 30 wide receiver in 2 out of 3 categories in the NFL. Yes, they're undefeated, and everybody can continue to laugh at me when I say that the Lions are better. No,
come on, dog. You gotta let this shit go.
Hold on.
You have to let that shit go, bro.
The power rankings on ESPN and NFL Network are agreeing with me. Pro Football Focus agrees with me. And here's the thing. Yeah, the eye test. Eye test is easy because Detroit's blowing people out and Kansas City is barely winning games. Kansas City is plus 56 on point differential. They've scored 203 points, given up 147. Detroit, on the other hand, has scored 258, given up 148. They're plus 110. They're more than 50 points better in the point differential than Kansas City. And luck has everything to do with it sometimes when you win games and when you have the refs help.
Take a shot. Too much up. Oh! Rise up. Oh! Come on, let's go. Somebody got to win. Who wants it? How bad do you want it? Oh, you got it. Here we go. White wine. Oh, not tonight, sir.
Why is it that everyone is just unanimously assuming that Lamar Jackson is running away with the MVP race right now? Lamar Jackson, 68% completion, 2,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 500 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. I'm looking at Josh Allen, 64 completion. He's got over 2,000 yards. He's 17-2. And he's only got 260 yards rushing, but he has 3 touchdowns. I think it's a lot closer. Baltimore has a better running back. I don't think that Shakir or Coleman or Kincaid are better than Flowers and Andrews, likely. Lamar Jackson has better weapons around him. Josh Allen is keeping pace with less around him. And I think that it's like a 1A, 1B right now between those two.
Well, I just got 2 miles of this damn stadium.
Can I get a Miller Lite, man?
Okay. I like your shirt.
It's like $18.
Fuck, we're Road G. Season 21, 22. And LSU.
I apologize.
Oh, drinks.
You're good. I want to know what happened to Baltimore's defense. Bucks ain't this game.
Incomplete. 3rd and goal.
Technically, it's 101st.
shit back.
You're a wizard.
$1 more would have gotten you a highlight.
They conned us. They conned us into this.
Some bullshit.
Excuse me, sorry. There's a lot of elderly Ravens fans right here.
Yes, the Baltimore Colts marching band back when they used to have a marching band.
A lot of popcorn. Well, there goes our points.
There goes our points. Why are you so mad, man? He's so angry. Let's go into the exit!
Henry on the carry. Held down by Alonzo David. Second and 11 at the 41.
You lucked out with Brady. Three.
Last shit don't matter. Better get before you 5-2.
You bet me 4-3.
Yeah, we 4-3, and we gonna win our division. Y'all will not.
No, you're not even number one.
Atlanta's way better than y'all. You crazy.
Oh, shit.
Three NFL head coaches that I think on the hot seat right now. Let's start off with DeMeco Ryans here. I know the Texans are missing some key guys on offense, but they still have CJ Stroud, and nowadays higher-ups want their young QBs to have success fast. DeMeco Ryans is a defensive-minded head coach. The higher-ups may not have much patience with him if the Texans fizzle out this second half of the season. Number two, Nick Sirianni. He should have been gone at the end of last year for just keeping it real, but the Eagles are having some success right now. But if they have another disappointing end of the season, he is gone. Doug Peterson is toast. He should have been gone yesterday. Hot seat's an understatement. He shouldn't have a seat at all. I would be shocked if he makes it to the end of this season before getting fired. But let us know in the comments below, who are three head coaches you think are on the hot seat right now?
Stalled right around the 30. Darnold on the slant, off of Jefferson's hands. Darnold, time, plenty of it, end zone shot, and another! Darnold's hoping for a one-on-one somewhere. He's throwing to the end zone, and he's picked again!
10 after the scramble by Lance. The lofts it, and he's intercepted.
It's deflected towards Gibbs, and it's intercepted! Play action, Goff pressured, and to move that ball got hit, knocked out. It is free, and it's in the hands of the Texans. Montgomery to the 20. Goff shot from the end zone, intercepted.
In the discussion for sure. 3rd and 9. Ball's back, knocked out of his hands. Cowboy lineman, football follies, and maybe Philadelphia has it.
It's like the Bills in the 90s, man. People don't realize that the Bills and the Dolphins pretty much played every year for the AFC Championship game and played for the AFC East, and the Dolphins always lost. It was in their head, and that's what it seems to be now. It's just in Tua's head.
Tua needs great people around him for him to be great. Josh Allen makes other people around him better than what they are. And when you have a quarterback like that, you're going to beat the quarterback that needs the people more often than not. Buffalo is the standard still in the AFC East right now.
The Dolphins defense cannot contain Josh Allen. Just looking back the past couple years, this past game, he threw for 235 yards. When they played them earlier this year, only 139 yards, but that was game 2 and went down, and they just ran the ball all over the Dolphins. Playoff game, 359 yards, 320 yards, 304 yards, 400 yards. He has torched them. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to your favorite Anora podcast on the internet. We have a lot to get into in this second half here. Let's start off with the cheers because I feel like we're going to need it.
A second. Okay. I got my big shot glass.
Nice.
This one.
Staying away from big shot glasses right now.
Aria, by the way. Vegas, baby. I love the shot glass because it says, "This is how I Vegas."
Smooth.
And we don't marry strippers. That's what we don't do. Esther.
Well,
technicalities.
No.
I'm not even.
We might friend a retard and get them to count cards on a blackjack table. That might happen.
Folks, just keep your eyes peeled for the Vegas episode this summer.
Shit.
All right. Let's get into these community comments because there's a lot.
Oh boy.
So, Shador obviously slid on down to the Browns in the 5th round of the draft after ESPN all but had him sold to the highest bidder in the 1st round. And I made a video saying that that was essentially the best thing that could have happened to him because it was a humbling experience for him. And he still, did get drafted. It's not like he did not. Yes, I did mention the fact that Aaron Rodgers is still unsigned and he's a Super Bowl champion. And because he's not that great anymore and kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, people aren't exactly just jumping on board immediately to sign him. Similar situation is all I'm saying is that it's like if you're kind of a pain to deal with and you had terrible interviews, it's just like any other job. It's like, well, why would they be like just exuberant to hire you if you're not the greatest at what you do in the first place? Now, people in the comments on TikTok, we'll start there because that is where the majority are. There's some on YouTube as well. But I'm trying to figure out where to even start here because they're all mixed up for me. But I will just go through here and start picking out random ones. Jolly Roger says, simple facts. Tiger Shark says, has he ever competed for a starting position? Francis, he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder. ESPN knows less about the NFL than Angel Reese. It's Angel Reese.
Oh my god.
Comments.
Catching strays from every.
Let me find some other ones. I can see the foolishness in this dude's eyes. They saw his performance in the Alamo Bowl. Someone said he's a practice squad player.
Jesus.
Hold on. Oh Lord. Hold on. These are more recent. I'm trying to go back to the OG ones. All right. Someone says, in your mind, do you actually think that this quarterback, Sanders, 104th in the draft, was right spot for him? You can't be that naive to think that was the right spot. I don't know. To me, the whole like Tom Brady was like a late round pick. Like there's a lot of late round picks that ended up being great. Go ahead, Malin.
Well, the thing is that you have these late round picks like a Tom Brady, right? You have a Brock Purdy. You're exceeding expectations at that point. Russell Wilson exceeded expectations in Seattle. Kirk Cousins exceeded expectations. The simple fact of the matter is the NFL has made a living letting people know that if you can play and if we think you can help us win, we will draft you. Like they do it all the time. Um, so a couple things about the Shador Sanders things. One, I love the comment you just wrote about that you just said. Has he ever had to compete for a starting job in his life? Probably not. He's probably always been able to be QB1 from the time of middle school, and no one's ever challenged that. And Deion Sanders at Jackson State in Colorado is not going to let a quarterback outplay his own son and take the starting job from him. So that is interesting. You're talking about somebody that holds the record in NCAA history. And I think 71% completion percentage for the 2 years he played at Colorado, right? Cam Ward kind of called him out in a video shoot that they did. He was like, dude, you're like the check down king. You like they use you as a running back. And I remember Shador Sanders saying, "Oh, well, I didn't have a running game, yada yada yada." But I remember Cam Ward saying, "If we run an offense like you ran an offense in Colorado, I would have been a 91% completion percentage quarterback." Last year in Miami. So with this whole thing with Shador, talented, yes. You need the headache, no. I think the NFL is sending a clear message with all this NIL bullshit. Players thinking they're going to come into the league and they're going to be calling the shots. I don't think that's going to be the case. Obviously, what happened to Shador Sanders. The one thing that's a little bit weird to me is, like Deion Sanders is a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's one of the best that ever played at his position, right? Nobody in the NFL gave him a heads up that this is what's going to happen. Like, he clearly thought his son was getting drafted in the first round. You don't build that whole tent shit with legendary and all this stuff and get your son all decked out with the black leather jacket and the chains. And like, you don't do that if you don't think he's getting drafted in the first round. I do think that the NFL kind of screwed Deion a little bit, but I think they're really putting their foot forward, saying that like these players are not going to be able to get all this NIL money and then pussyfoot around these interviews and treat them like they're nothing, and disrespect people, because that's kind of what people are talking about with Shador Sanders. Was saying was like he just wasn't taking the interview seriously. Like, no, you know who I am. I'm gonna get drafted. That's a lot different than what Deion did back when he got drafted. Because everyone knows the story with Deion where the Giants wanted him to take this test. And he said, well, were you guys drafting? He said 16. He was like, well, I'll be taken by then. Well, Deion was like one of the top 10 players in that draft at defensive back. Shador Sanders wasn't that person. I don't know if if Deion made him thinking that he was that person. But he kind of screwed himself a little bit with the bravado that he had leading up to it. I think he's better than a 5th round draft pick. I don't know what Cleveland is doing. I don't know why you draft Dylan Gabriel and then you draft Shador Sanders. I don't, because who's going to be more popular in Cleveland? It's going to be Shador Sanders. You're basically saying, hey, Dylan Gabriel, we think you're a better quarterback, but fuck you. We're going to bring in all this hype behind you. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, So I get that, like, you might have said that, like, oh, this is the best thing for him. But when you look at the team he went to, I don't think it is the best thing for him. And I'm not even sure he makes the team, to be honest with
Mm.
you. I'm
Jesus.
not even sure he makes the team. Uh, oh, I don't know. It's wild. It is a crazy story. I thought that he was going to go in the first round. The further he kept sliding, I was like, holy shit, this is wild. My Seahawks drafted a quarterback ahead of him, and then we traded the pick to Cleveland that Cleveland picked him at. So we're forever tied to Shador Sanders, which I don't like because if he ends up being the all-time great,
It'll
we're
be
going to be
that
out of
team.
30 ESPN, and I don't like that. We've already had Emmitt Smith break the rushing record against Seahawks. So like I don't need more history. In Super Bowl 49, Super Bowl 40, fuck you people. Oh, we got a fight going on right now.
There we do. There we go. They put one of the rockets on his ass. That's telling Brooks to fuck off.
I think the number one thing we need to look at, Jalen, is more of a plus or minus. Like, do you think Shador Sanders is going to start a game year one with the Cleveland Browns?
I think so.
Oh,
And if that's the case, I think I'm gonna go with the under. I don't think he starts a game for the Cleveland Browns.
Hmm.
And we need to record this because we could all have egg on our face or not.
Right.
But does he start a game for the Cleveland next year as a rookie? Not get playing time, but does he start a game? I don't know.
Because I'm thinking that he's good enough to make the backup, and then at that point, I mean, if Joe Flacco was your starter, at some point, probably around second half of the season, there's going to be an opportunity for him to get into a game, or like for like whatever happens to Joe Flacco is whatever. They're like the fans are going to be calling for him to start if he's sitting on the bench.
They also
waiting.
got Kenny Pickett, right?
Yeah, they got Kenny Pickett.
They do, yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing with Kenny Pickett. You can't. They already declined his 50-year option, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think during the current CBA that you can make Kenny Pickett a practice squad player. I don't think you can in the NFL. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But what I'm looking at is Shador Sanders a practice squad player to start the year?
Could be.
Like,
yes.
That's wild because most NFL teams only carry 2 quarterbacks. So, I mean, it is what Cleveland. I wish that Cleveland was doing Hard Knock. I really wish.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, damn it.
Wish they were. I wish they were. Because even the idea of Shador Sanders being a practice squad player is wild to me. Meanwhile, I think that his brother is going to end up on the everyday roster with Tampa Bay Bucks, which is insane. And it's too early for me to say that I think his brother will have a longer NFL career, but I think he plays a position that will garner him more chances to hit squads. And he was always the least favorite son. And when I say least favorite son, he was behind Travis Hunter. Deion Sanders, you got to answer to that, man. You let Travis Hunter become a better son than your own son Shiloh. That's shit.
All I'm saying is,
well, I mean, Travis did win the Heisman. Shiloh didn't, so there's that. I mean, he's obviously the more talented.
Well, Shiloh got the best city, arguably. Cleveland, Jacksonville. Damn.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
Shiloh is
Yeah.
going to have a better residence. That's a good one, Nestor. I like it.
There was a lot of comments here, and half of them I will say are like this one or these two people that were just arguing back and forth. Which I'm not even going to dig into that. Yes, of course. There's a lot of people arguing the race thing in the comments, which is a whole nother can of worms that I don't really feel like getting into right now. So yeah, I think we've already. Is it anybody else want to mention anything else before we move on from this?
I mean, 2 of the 4 quarterbacks taken before him were African Americans, so I don't know where the race thing comes into play. And the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
So I think it's, as we've said, he didn't interview well. He took it for granted that he was going to be picked in the first round, and probably within the first 10 picks of the first round. There was probably some teams he didn't want to go to, so he just didn't even care. Like, yeah, maybe I'll show up, maybe not, and hey, ask me to do something, just look at my tape. Look at my tape. It's like, yeah, okay. Then we're not going to draft you. It'll be interesting with Cleveland, though, because they've got 4 quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson's on the IR. He'll be on the IR for part of this season. Joe Flacco is 40, and not a LeBron James 40, but like a freaking someone who's played football and been hit a few more times than they need to. So it's a question on his durability, and I don't know if Pickett makes the team. I mean, I could see Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders making the team, and one of them being the backup, and the other one, depending if they felt like they needed a third quarterback, either being on the practice squad or being signed for that for that game, being brought up for that game. But yeah, it's up to him now to make the best out of a bad situation that he and his dad kind of caused.
Yeah. How about go get an agent? That might help.
Well, get an agent. Take the interview seriously.
I like that Shiloh said that he fired his dad and signed with Drew Rosenhaus on the 3rd day of the draft. Because he was like, it's not working out good for us. He was joking, but I do. Yeah, I don't even understand what happened with all this stuff going on.
I know.
In the Golden State game, I don't know who got charged with what. Someone went into a tunnel. We can all agree that Brooks is a bitch, but I don't know what else.
Oh yeah,
is happening.
He needs to go play in Lithuania.
Isn't Brooks Canadian?
Yeah, I think so. I think didn't he find the Canadian team?
Softest tough guy that you can have. Like, I don't give it. Like, I'll say this right now, and Brooks can come down to Tampa. I'll whoop his ass. I don't give a shit. Down to Tampa, I'll whoop your ass, Brooks.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure you will, but
Brooks looks like he was a bulldog.
I think he's got a few inches on you and a few pounds, and I think he's in better shape.
I don't give a shit. He'll be in better shape. He's Canadian. I'll whoop his ass.
He give you that right hook, and you'll be down.
What right hook?
You're like, man.
Right hook. He's got 2 fucking left hands. He can't even shoot the fucking basketball.
Canadian 2-piece special.
Shit. Like, all Dylan Brooks is everybody has that one person that hangs out at the gas station and talk shit to people and beg for money. That's Dylan Brooks in the NBA. He just hangs out, talks shit. Before him is Patrick Beverly. That's just all it is. So,
all right.
At least Draymond was creative.
Oh,
and at least he
very
was
love
fairly good.
Draymond Green is this generation's Dennis Rodman, and I love it. He's not as good as Dennis Rodman,
right?
But he's demonstrative. Is Dennis Rodman? He's not as good.
Sure is.
He scores more points than Dennis Rodman. I think Dennis Rodman at one point had a 4-game stretch where he had 122 rebounds and 0 points. That was wild. I'm pretty sure that happened.
That is the most 90s Dennis Rodman type shit. All right, let's get to the ride or die in 5. Bring this thing in for a landing here. So I did, in the email, I didn't update our records, but I went and did that afterwards because I forgot. So last week, I went 2-3. Malin went 1-4. G Money went 3-2. Nestor went 1-4. And June went 2-3. It was a wacky week wacky weekend in the playoffs.
Get drunk, make picks. So G
I
Money
love how G Money was the only one that won money.
Drunk picks, man. They paid off me once in the NFL, and obviously
He doesn't even remember who he picked.
I fucking hate this
I
shit.
did not. I did not. I didn't even write it down. I'm like,
Such
usually I
bullshit.
wite it down so I can check it. I had no
You could have
clue.
said that G Money went 0-5 and be like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Yep, sounds about right. Like 3-2. I'm like, damn.
All right. Let's get to the first game tomorrow night at 6. There's a bunch of games tomorrow. We've got the Bucks going to the Pacers for game 5. Pacers could close things out here. G Money, we will start with you first.
Indy, they close it out. That's it. It's done. Dillard isn't playing. Giannis. That's really all you got. So give me the Pacers.
I'm going to agree. The Bucks look completely deflated, especially after losing Dame. It is just the Giannis show. Nobody else is doing anything on that damn team. It's pretty embarrassing. And hey, there's a good chance this might be the last game we see Giannis as a Buck. So should be interesting. Malin.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis is doing his best Derrick Rose impression as far as becoming anonymous as quickly as possible, except without tearing your ACL. Indiana, which is wild. The Halliburton company are just playing better. So, yeah, Indiana. I love how Indiana is always good enough throughout history since the early 90s with Reggie Miller to go to the second or third round, but never good enough to win it. I love that for
Yeah.
fuck you people.
I love that for you.
You make better corn. Make better corn, people. That's
I
all
love
we
that
want.
for you, Indiana.
Give us another Reggie. Give us another Reggie Miller or a Larry Bird. But fuck you. Honestly, Indiana. We should trade.
You're always in the same season.
We should trade Canada, Indiana, something. I don't know what we're trading them for. The rights to maple syrup.
There you go. Maple syrup.
Nobody can make maple syrup but us, and you guys get Indiana. There you go.
Love that for you, Indiana. In the same breath, fuck you, Indiana.
Right.
Nestor, I'm going to assume that you're also taking Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's what?
I'm
also
sorry.
taking
I was trying. You guys saw what I did there.
Yes, at first. You thought you set him up. Oh man, that's great. Oh, I love when Steph Curry throws the ball up from 3 and just starts walking back like he knows it's going in.
And his girl still wants other men. Anyway, I want Indiana. Yeah, Pacers.
Wants other men.
That's a slippery slope there.
What's
all right. Also that night, we've got the Pistons at the Knicks. where New York has the chance to close things out. I will go first here. I am going to take the Knicks at home here. Detroit, you bastards. Y'all had one job, and you've done it. Well, you haven't done it at all. Yeah, I mean, the Knicks look like a team that knows what they've been here before. Pistons simply have no experience here. Yeah. Looks like it'll be Knicks Celtics in round 2, so that's fine. Malin.
I think I was the only one that picked the Knicks to win this series, was I not?
I think you were.
Yeah, they're winning the series. They're gonna go flatline in next series, like I predict they would. But they're gonna do just enough to overpower Detroit. Detroit is like a year or two behind Oklahoma City without the talent that Oklahoma City has. So I think Detroit is going to end up like Indiana, which is so great, where you can we might go into the second round, we might not, for a lot of years. But the Knicks are gonna move on, and then get the brakes beat off of them. Brunson only has so many ankles. I think he's a donkey. He's got 4 ankles, jackass. So apparently he can still play right now. He's the Paul Pierce of the NBA right now. To be honest with you,
He is.
your ankles are always hurt. Something's always hurt. We're carrying you off the court. You come back and play. Cute. But yeah, the Knicks are gonna move on, but then they'll get their ass beat by either Cleveland or Boston.
Nestor.
The optimism of Knicks fans it always surprises me every season. I was at Rocco's Tacos, again, not for the beer. And I tell you, these guys were clapping like they were just, in the finals. And I'm like, what do you think's gonna happen after you beat Detroit? What do you think happens next?
Yeah.
Have you not learned your lesson? They're a great, if you're having a full course meal of the finals, there's like a great appetizer. I love to see them get eliminated. It's one of the simple pleasures of life. Besides seeing Golden State get eliminated. So yeah, they're losing this game. I wish. No, give me the Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks fans are such an interesting creature. You know, they're literally like the cowboy fans of the NBA. We're like, what do you guys think is gonna happen next?
Spot on.
No, they're worse. They haven't won a championship since what, 71?
It's giving Chicago Bears.
Wasn't it 71, Gary?
Yeah.
Last year, this one championship?
70, 71?
70 to 71.
Eh,
Y'all wasted Patrick Ewing. You guys did that. Like, the Spurs saved America from Latrell Sprewell winning a title with the Knicks. Allen Houston, I'm sorry. But for some reason, Madison Square Garden is like the Mecca. But what is really the Mecca is for all these other great players to go into the Knicks home court and just put up 50 on you. Like that's what the Madison Square Garden is.
Great place to perform.
Yeah. I mean, all the greats have put up 50 in the Madison Square Garden over the last 25 years. You name them, they put up 50, 45, something.
Isn't Spike Lee a big Knicks fan?
Yeah, he is.
I love when he's always there.
The only reason why Spike Lee's relevant now is because he's a Knicks fan, which is sad because
it is really funny.
What has Spike Lee done in 30 years?
If you go to his Wikipedia, it's just Knicks super fan.
Like, yeah, what relevance does he have? He's like Jack Nicholson. At least is still getting laid at like 88 years old, being a Lakers fan. He's still getting chicks. At this
88
point,
years
three
old.
quarters of his age. At this point, 3/4 of his age. He's like in his 80s and they're in his 20s, so it's like, 3/4 of his age. Mike Lee, like, what the fuck, man? Shut up. Goddamn Knicks.
G Money.
Well, I'm going to rock the boat on this because,
Oh.
like, 3 of the games have been really close. And I said this in the beginning, and I stand by it. Thibodeau does not use his bench. He just runs his guys to fucking death. And Brunson, at some point in this game, is going to fall and not get back up. I'm going with Detroit. I'm going to take Detroit.
I don't like the way you said that.
I actually think Brunson will keep getting back up. That's the crazy thing. He's going to get back up slower.
He
He's
had
like
that one fall where it was not looking very good last game.
he's like a Maserati that only has 3 gears right now.
It's giving life alert.
Like the transmission shot, and he just every time he falls down, he comes back a little bit slower. At some point, he's going to be in neutral. Like I think he's fast walking at this point. Brunson is, but I think they have just enough to beat him. But Brunson's fast walking. He's fast walking through the rest of the playoffs. He's beat the shit.
Next game, 8:30 on Tuesday night. We've got another elimination game. Magic coming to the Boston Celtics for Game 5.
Boston winning.
Nestor.
Yeah.
I just say Boston.
Not going with Disney on this one. Give me Boston.
I'm saying.
G Money.
Got my hair with no sleep.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I say Boston, here's the death knell for Boston because I'm picking them. So you know good and well that for some crazy reason Orlando's going to win that game.
G Money.
I don't think they got a shot in hell. They got a shot in
We
hell.
are in our repeat era, so we're gonna make quick business of this one.
I wish you didn't say
Brown,
that.
Isn't Brown out?
No, he's fine. He's a little bruised up, but he's all right.
Everybody's banged up.
But he was out.
You know what? We're gonna win this game so comfortably. Like we don't even need Tatum to be clutch because we know he's not clutch. We're not gonna need him to be clutch. Yeah, because we all know that Jaylen Brown's the clutch one.
If you lose Jaylen Brown, it's over.
Tatum will win you a game through the first 3 quarters. Jaylen Brown in the fourth.
Right.
I got sit down, Tatum.
Let's go. 10 o'clock Tuesday night. The marathon continues. Clippers at Nuggets, Game 5. Remember, this one is not elimination. This one's tied 2-2. Nestor, we will start with you first.
Give me the Clippers. I don't see Denver winning this series, so Clippers are just a better team. And Denver has so many issues internally, so I'm Clippers.
Okay. G-Money.
Yeah, Denver has a similar issue that the Lakers have. Their bench doesn't really score. So you're relying on the Joker to put up a triple-double and Murray to come in and score 20-plus points. And you're hoping that someone else can score points. And when that doesn't happen, they don't win. The Clippers don't have that problem. They've got a bench that scores, except for Bogdanovich, who couldn't score with his sister. So,
I Oh,
I'm
shit.
taking the Clippers. Yeah, it's true. Ask him. Couldn't score with his own sister. Couldn't do it.
Well,
I knew it.
I'm going to agree with you too. Give me the Clippers here on the road. I feel like this is going to be a Kawhi Leonard legacy game right here, where it'll be nip and tuck all the way, and Kawhi's going to come up huge in that last like 2-minute stretch to go back to LA for the chance to close it out at home. I feel like they kind of have to, because I do not trust the Clippers being down 3-2. So take it with my heart here. Not gonna lie. Go ahead, Malin.
Yeah, I'm taking the Clippers because I don't know. Let the rashy ass go back to play with his horses. I don't want to know what he does with his horses.
Nice.
Let him play with them.
Oh,
This Golden State Houston game is getting fucking chippy.
It
and I'm here.
is.
Yeah, it is.
Not even halftime. I think there's going to be a fight, and I'm here for it. I
I actually
hope
want to stay up and watch this.
I hope that Jimmy Butler can get them into a fight. Exciting. What did I say? Who am I taking?
Clippers.
Yeah, Clippers. Let's go.
All right. Last game, which is this same
fun one.
series. I was hoping we'd have a little more intel at this point in the night, but this is still anybody's game.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit! You let Dylan
Yeah.
Brooks do it? Foul him! Yes, Jimmy Butler just threw the shit out of Brooks.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that, man. Were you asking for a fight? Because, you know, look at.
He said, "Fuck you, dude. You're gonna have to hit some free throws with your broke ass." Oh, that was actually kind of weak. Dylan Brooks, Canadian again. What a bitch, man. Get your feet under you. He didn't do anything. Maple syrup, moose, fucking piece of shit.
Moose.
God damn it. That's why you foul him, too, because he didn't even make the free throw.
Man,
But
Justin
fucking
Purdue head.
God damn, Dylan Brooks. Oh. What a bitch.
Let's pick game 6 here.
Yeah, I'm just fuck this Houston team. Fuck you, Dylan Brooks. That's why they fouled you, because you knew you can't hit a free throw. You donkey ass motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a fucking lot of turnovers.
Looking like fucking Shrek shot side pick.
That's a lot of F-bombs in 2.6 seconds.
Is anybody taking the Rockets in game
Meanwhile,
6?
Houston whooping the shit out of Golden State in the last minute and a half of this game. They're up by 7. Yeah, Golden State keeps turning the ball over.
I don't think anybody's picking them.
Look at Brooks.
Fuck is that? I'm taking the Rockets.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Damn it.
They're playing some serious freaking defense. I mean, they were intercepting passes. In Golden State, I expected better from them. I expected them to look after the goddamn ball.
2 minutes.
I mean,
Steph Curry, please.
I said I don't like the donkey fucker. It's Dylan Brooks.
I mean, damn.
No, moose fucker. Moose fucker. Give him a ladder, go fuck a moose. Dylan Brooks, piece of shit.
All right.
Fuck Canada. And fuck you too, SGA. Canadians.
Well, with
These
that
NBA
being
teams
said,
have to take a terror for having these Canadians playing on
Yep.
American teams. To be a tariff. Put a tariff on that shit.
They should all be playing on Toronto. That's where they should be. Well,
we're going to go ahead and bring this thing in for a close. We want to thank you all for watching, listening. We will catch you all next Monday at this weird time. But hey, by then we'll have some second round matchups. So yeah, we'll see you all next week, and have a good one. Peace out.
Fuck you, Dylan Brooks.